Welcome to the Book Club podcast. You're listening to the audiobook edition of Becoming Her: How to Stand Out in a World Full of Beautiful Women
by Kamiko Chamo.
If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future chapters or upcoming book releases. This book is also available on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle formats if you'd like your own copy to read along or take notes. Now, let's begin today's chapter. Chapter 8. Elegance as Power. Grace, Posture, and Poise. What elegance truly communicates. Elegance is more than aesthetics. It is emotional architecture, a balance between restraint and self-expression. A woman's elegance doesn't announce itself through clothing or jewels, but through energy. It is the way she handles moments, the calm with which she speaks, the quiet confidence she carries in silence. True elegance is the soul translated into movement. It is composure turned into art. The world often confuses elegance with luxury, mistaking expensive things for refined energy. Yet real elegance cannot be bought because it's not a possession, it's a vibration. You can sense it in the woman who moves gently through chaos without letting it stain her spirit, in the one who disagrees with dignity, who chooses clarity over conflict. She does not chase validation because she doesn't need her reflection in someone else's admiration. Her worth is internal. Elegance communicates self-command. It says, I am in harmony with myself. It's the unspoken message that nothing outside her can disrupt her inner equilibrium. Her words are measured not because she fears speaking, but because she respects the weight of them. When she enters a room, her presence isn't loud, but it fills the space quietly. There is rhythm in her movements and intention in her silence. This quietness, when aligned with confidence, becomes magnetic. Every detail of her presence reflects inner order. Her voice is soft but firm, her posture natural but strong, her gestures economical yet expressive. When she laughs, it is sincere. When she listens, it is complete. People gravitate toward her not for performance, but for peace. She doesn't demand attention. She redefines it. Elegance also communicates boundaries without friction. Her grace never means tolerance for disrespect. The same calm tone that soothes can also set limits. A simple no, delivered with poise, carries more authority than hours of explanation. Elegance gives her the power to remain kind without becoming pliant. It allows her to express disagreement without aggression. When others lose balance, she remains centered, anchored in her quiet truth. There is a spiritual undertone to elegance. It is the practice of self-awareness made visible. When she moves slowly, it's not hesitation but mindfulness. When she pauses, it's not uncertainty but intention. Her pace reflects a deep understanding of timing, that sacred rhythm between action and stillness. She knows when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. To embody this grace, she cultivates emotional intelligence. She understands that elegance isn't about being perfect. It's about being composed while imperfect. It's the strength to admit when she's wrong without collapsing into guilt, the confidence to apologize without losing her dignity. This balance, vulnerability within control, is the hallmark of true refinement. People often underestimate how powerful elegance is. In a world addicted to noise and spectacle, calmness becomes rebellion. When everyone else rushes to be seen, the elegant woman slows down and becomes unforgettable. Her stillness forces the world to adjust to her pace. She reminds people that control is not dominance, it is direction. To practice elegance, you must begin with awareness. Notice how you occupy space. Notice the rhythm of your words, the tone of your laughter, the urgency in your movement. Ask yourself, am I rushing because I'm afraid to be overlooked, or am I moving with purpose? Slow your gestures. Speak from breath, not tension. Hold eye contact longer but softer. Replace dramatic reactions with pauses. Over time, these micro decisions become habit, and habit becomes aura. Elegance is also self-care turned outward. When you tend to your inner peace, when you rest, breathe, and feed your mind beauty, it shows. Your energy becomes more refined, your reactions more measured, your emotions more spacious. You stop over-explaining, you stop proving, you begin to embody ease, and ease is irresistible. Most importantly, elegance communicates respect for self and for others. It's how you listen without interrupting, how you express boundaries without cruelty, how you move through the world without leaving emotional debris behind. People feel safe in your company because they sense order. They can relax, knowing your energy will not fluctuate wildly. In the end, elegance is not something you wear, it's something you are. It is a lifelong discipline of grace under pressure, kindness without weakness, strength without arrogance. It's the quiet fire that glows instead of burns, the steady voice that guides instead of shouts, the presence that uplifts instead of overwhelms. And when you embody it fully, you'll realize that elegance doesn't just communicate who you are, it reminds others of who they could become. The link between body language and femininity. Body language is the unspoken poetry of the feminine. Long before words reveal your thoughts, your body already tells your story through posture, motion, breath, and rhythm. It reveals how at peace you are within yourself, how receptive or guarded your spirit feels, and whether you inhabit your body with pride or uncertainty. Feminine power isn't loud or forceful. It flows like water, gentle, deliberate, and confident. And body language is the vessel through which that flow becomes visible to the world. When a woman is connected to her feminine energy, her movements carry fluidity. Her gestures are smooth, her pace steady, her gaze soft yet aware. You can feel it when she enters a space. Her energy doesn't collide with others, it glides between them. Her shoulders remain relaxed, her steps are quiet but intentional, and she never appears to be fighting the moment. There's rhythm in how she lifts a glass, turns her head, or greets someone. Her presence feels composed, as if her body and spirit are in agreement. Feminine expression is deeply tied to emotional openness. The more a woman accepts herself, her flaws, her desires, her softness, the more naturally her body moves. There's no stiffness, no performance. Her gestures arise organically because she trusts her own essence. Masculine energy seeks to direct, to achieve. Feminine energy seeks to connect, to experience. So while masculine body language projects outward, with firm lines, assertive movements, and visible control, feminine energy expresses inward confidence. It draws people in, inviting curiosity rather than demanding attention. The simplest movements can reveal a woman's relationship with her femininity. A tilted chin signals confidence without aggression. Open hands express approachability and peace. The angle of her shoulders communicates whether she's open or closed to the world. Even the way she breathes tells her story. Shallow breathing indicates anxiety or self-consciousness, while deep, measured breathing reflects security and grace. Feminine embodiment begins with breath. When you breathe fully into your diaphragm, your body loosens, your voice lowers, and your energy expands. You stop contracting physically and emotionally and start occupying your space. Your face, too, speaks its own dialect of body language. Feminine energy lives in expressive subtlety, the slight arch of a brow, the gentle lift of a smile, the calm in the eyes. You don't need exaggerated expressions to appear engaging. Small, intentional ones are far more powerful. When your expressions flow naturally, people feel authenticity. They sense that your emotions are not curated for approval, but genuine reflections of your inner world. Touch is another language of femininity, not necessarily toward others, but toward yourself. How you adjust your hair, rest your hand on your chest, or trace the rim of your glass reveals your relationship with comfort and sensuality. Sensuality here does not mean seduction. It means awareness of the senses. When you touch your environment with care, when you handle objects gently, you send a signal of self-awareness and control. You become someone who moves with intention, someone who makes others slow down to match your rhythm. Graceful body language also carries humility. The feminine doesn't demand to be seen, she allows herself to be. There's no frantic need to impress. She moves with the confidence that her energy already speaks loudly enough. This humility is not weakness, it's quiet mastery. The woman who doesn't chase validation through movement is often the one who commands the most attention. People feel her serenity as safety. And yet, the same body language that embodies femininity also sets boundaries. Open palms and relaxed shoulders communicate warmth, but a still posture and unbroken gaze can express limits without confrontation. Feminine strength lies in that balance, the ability to be approachable without being available to everyone. The subtle lift of the chin, the squared alignment of the torso, the pause before responding, these gestures assert self-respect without aggression. To embody this balance daily, start with awareness. Move slower. Let your actions match your intention. When you walk, feel the ground beneath you. When you speak, let your gestures rise naturally from your words. Don't rush your expressions, savor them. You'll notice how the world adjusts its pace around you. People mirror your calm. Conversations deepen. Eyes soften. Your body becomes the teacher of the atmosphere. Feminine body language is not about performing softness. It's about feeling safe enough to express it. The more secure you feel within yourself, the gentler your energy becomes, and the gentler it becomes, the more magnetic it grows. Your body becomes the embodiment of serenity, strength, and allure, all at once. So remember, your body doesn't just move, it speaks. Every gesture tells the story of your inner world. When you inhabit your feminine nature fully, you don't need to announce your presence. The room already feels it. Small habits that destroy elegance. Elegance is not undone by grand mistakes, but by small, unconscious habits that erode presence over time. These habits slip quietly into daily life. The hurried speech, the restless hands, the anxious need to be noticed, and they chip away at the very grace that defines refinement. Elegance, after all, is not a costume but a discipline. It is the art of being deliberate in every gesture, word, and response. To preserve it, one must become aware of the subtle ways it can be lost. The first destroyer of elegance is haste. Nothing steals grace faster than rushing. The hurried woman moves as though she is forever behind her own life, shoulders tense, voice quick, eyes darting ahead to what's next. Her energy feels scattered because her attention has abandoned the present moment. Elegance lives in slowness, not laziness or hesitation, but mindfulness. When you slow down, you claim authority over time. Your movements stop apologizing for existing. You enter the flow of grace, and people feel it. Closely tied to haste is impatience. The elegant woman practices restraint because she understands that not everything deserves her urgency. Impatience, whether in traffic or conversation, betrays insecurity. It reveals a belief that things must move faster for her to feel at ease. But grace, by nature, thrives in patience. To wait calmly is to trust life's timing. Every act of patience reinforces poise, reminding the world that your peace cannot be rushed. Another subtle thief of elegance is excessive talking. Words lose their value when they are spent carelessly. Many speak simply to fill silence, unaware that silence itself is a mark of confidence. The elegant woman does not compete to be heard. She allows her words to arrive with weight. She chooses clarity over quantity, and her pauses carry just as much meaning as her sentences. Over-explaining, gossiping, or interrupting others communicates nervous energy, the need to prove instead of the power to be. Elegance rests in verbal economy. Say less, mean more. Neglecting tone is another habit that dissolves grace. The way words are delivered matters more than their content. A calm, measured tone transforms even firm statements into expressions of maturity. Sharpness, defensiveness, or condescension may feel powerful in the moment, but always cheapen authority. The elegant woman never raises her voice unnecessarily. She elevates her tone instead. Her speech soothes, not stings, because she knows influence is felt most deeply when it doesn't bruise. Then there is fidgeting, the restless dance of nervous energy. Constantly checking a phone, touching hair, or shifting weight betrays inner agitation. Fidgeting sends a message: I'm uncomfortable here. Stillness, by contrast, radiates control. When your hands rest gracefully, when your body holds stillness with ease, your energy feels grounded and trustworthy. Even simple acts like holding eye contact or keeping your hands relaxed on your lap anchor elegance into the body. One of the more deceptive destroyers of elegance is overreaction. In a world addicted to drama, the ability to remain calm is revolutionary. Overreacting to criticism, inconvenience, or offense displays emotional immaturity. The elegant woman doesn't suppress emotion, but she refines its expression. She allows herself to feel deeply, yet respond wisely. Her reactions are proportionate, thoughtful, and measured. People remember her composure long after they forget the situation that tested it. Elegance is also lost in complaining. Chronic negativity dulls radiance faster than anything else. When conversation becomes a collection of grievances, the energy turns heavy. Complaints suggest helplessness, and helplessness repels respect. The woman of grace acknowledges challenges, but doesn't dwell in them. She speaks solutions, not sorrows. Her words uplift rather than drain, and her presence lightens the emotional climate of any room. Another destroyer is inconsistency. When demeanor changes dramatically based on mood or company, elegance vanishes. Refinement requires emotional steadiness, a sense that others can trust your energy to be balanced, not volatile. Consistency doesn't mean repressing emotion. It means expressing it without abandoning composure. It means being kind to all, not just to those who can benefit you. True elegance does not fluctuate under pressure. It adapts with grace. Finally, forgetting gratitude strips elegance of its depth. Without gratitude, poise becomes performance. The elegant woman finds beauty in small details, the way sunlight hits a window, the warmth in a stranger's smile, the luxury of peace. Gratitude infuses humility into refinement. It prevents sophistication from turning into superiority. When you appreciate life's subtleties, your presence becomes luminous. People feel nourished by your energy because it radiates contentment, not comparison. Elegance is a lifelong practice of awareness. Each time you catch yourself rushing, complaining, or fidgeting, you are given a chance to return to grace. Straighten your spine, slow your breath, smile gently, choose restraint over reaction, stillness over noise. These are not small gestures. They are spiritual recalibrations, reminders that refinement begins within. And in mastering these little disciplines, you will discover that elegance isn't about perfection. It's about presence, about choosing intention over impulse, awareness over autopilot. The world doesn't need louder women. It needs calmer ones. It needs women whose grace slows time, whose stillness restores harmony, and whose very being teaches that true power moves quietly and always beautifully. Refinement in speech and movement. Refinement is the invisible polish that separates grace from mere composure. It's the moment your actions, tone, and gestures become seamless expressions of calm authority. Refinement doesn't demand to be noticed, it's felt. It lingers in the way you phrase a thought, in the rhythm of your walk, in the gentle restraint behind every gesture. A refined woman isn't trying to impress. She's communicating harmony between her inner world and her outer form. Her speech flows like silk, her movement like breath, natural, rhythmic, unforced. True refinement begins with self-awareness. Every word you speak and every motion you make carries energy. You can sense refinement instantly in someone who moves intentionally and speaks from stillness. She never rushes to fill silence because she knows silence is part of her rhythm. Her pauses feel deliberate, her tone even. She understands that her voice is not just sound, it's atmosphere. When she speaks, her words settle into a space with clarity and poise. People listen not because she speaks loudly, but because she speaks beautifully. Refinement in speech doesn't mean adopting artificial eloquence or sounding rehearsed. It's the balance between precision and sincerity. The refined woman respects language. She chooses her words with care, but allows warmth to soften them. She avoids gossip because she knows that words are mirrors. Whatever she says about others reflects her own vibration. She avoids vulgarity because she values peace over shock. Her voice is steady, expressive, and kind, guided by intelligence rather than impulse. Refined speech has rhythm. She allows her sentences to breathe, never stacking them one on top of the other. Her pauses are punctuation for thought, not hesitation. When she's amused, her laughter arrives softly, genuine but never disruptive. When she disagrees, her voice stays calm, her tone firm yet graceful. Disagreement loses its sting when delivered with emotional steadiness. People remember her balance more than her argument. Refinement in movement mirrors refinement in words. Every motion, walking, gesturing, sitting, carries intention. The refined woman moves with quiet economy. She doesn't flail or fidget. She allows stillness to do most of the talking. When she walks, her steps are measured but not mechanical. Her arms move gently, her chin stays lifted, her gaze open. She glides, not because she's performing grace, but because her mind is anchored in awareness. Even small gestures matter. How she sets a cup down, how she turns her head when addressed, how she enters and exits spaces. Nothing is hurried. Nothing is careless. When she reaches for something, her motion follows a smooth line. No abruptness, no strain. Her movements appear choreographed by ease itself. You can tell when someone has cultivated this awareness. Their body feels peaceful to watch. Refinement isn't about perfection, it's about presence. The woman who knows herself moves differently. Her gestures are not performative, they're responsive to life. She bends without breaking, acts without forcing, flows without apology. She honors time and attention, her own and others. Her gestures carry respect because she's fully there in every motion. A refined presence also respects boundaries of space. She does not invade personal distance, nor does she shrink from it. She knows that elegance exists in balance, closeness without crowding, warmth without suffocation. This spatial awareness is subtle but powerful. It signals emotional intelligence. People feel comfortable around her because her body language speaks of safety. To cultivate refinement, practice mindfulness in movement. When you reach for something, notice your hand. When you walk, feel your weight shift. When you speak, hear yourself fully. Each act of attention becomes grace in motion. This isn't self-consciousness, it's self-connection. Over time, awareness replaces effort. You'll no longer think about appearing refined. You'll simply be refined. And remember, refinement is never rigid. It's flexible strength, the ability to remain composed while still human. You may stumble, laugh loudly, or lose composure for a moment. That doesn't erase your grace. What matters is how quickly you return to calm. The art lies in recovery, not perfection. In essence, refinement is the language of peace written through movement and tone. It tells the world you are aware, intentional, and in harmony with yourself. And that harmony, that seamless blend of control and softness, is the essence of power disguised as gentleness. Developing your personal rhythm. Every woman possesses a natural rhythm, a private tempo that shapes the way she walks, speaks, breathes, and connects. It's the quiet cadence of her energy, her signature pace in a world that often demands she rush, adapt, and conform. When she loses that rhythm, she loses the harmony that makes her unique. Developing personal rhythm is not about timing your steps to match others. It's about remembering your own. It is the act of reclaiming your natural flow, the one that feels effortless rather than performed. The first step in finding that rhythm is slowing down long enough to hear it. Modern life pulls women into constant acceleration, deadlines, comparisons, noise, and external expectations. The body begins to mirror that chaos: hurried speech, shallow breathing, reactive emotions. The rhythm becomes fragmented. Refinement begins when you pause long enough to reconnect with the inner metronome of your piece. Ask yourself, what is my natural pace when I am not being chased by life? That pace, whether slow and sensual or steady and deliberate, is where your true rhythm begins. Body rhythm and emotional rhythm are intertwined. When your breath is shallow, your emotions rush. When your breath deepens, your energy grounds. Practice breathing slowly before you speak, before you respond, before you enter a room. Feel how your words emerge differently when born from calm lungs rather than a tight chest. People sense the difference. It's not about pitch or diction, but vibration. The slower your breath, the more magnetic your presence becomes. Movement, too, should follow your rhythm, not the world's tempo. Notice how you walk when you're at peace compared to when you're anxious. At peace, your steps flow, the hips sway slightly, your shoulders stay soft, your eyes look forward. Under tension, your body contracts, your stride shortens, and your head lowers. Your voice also has a rhythm, one that reflects how you value your own words. The refined woman doesn't rush her sentences. She speaks with pauses that allow her thoughts to breathe. She modulates tone naturally, never forcing sweetness or sharpness. Her voice follows emotion, not anxiety. The cadence of her words mirrors her confidence, fluid, balanced, and measured. To develop vocal rhythm, practice reading aloud softly, listening to your tone as if it were music. Where does it rise too sharply? Where does it rush? Refine it until it feels like silk moving through air, smooth, intentional, unmistakably yours. Internal rhythm is spiritual alignment, the synchronization between mind, heart, and intuition. When you are aligned, decisions come easily, reactions soften, and your life begins to flow instead of resist. You notice synchronicities. The right people, ideas, and opportunities appear at the right time. Rhythm isn't just in movement, it's in timing, the divine order that unfolds when you're no longer fighting the current. The woman who has found her rhythm becomes untouchable to chaos. She navigates storms without panic because her pace is guided by inner peace, not outer noise. Your environment can also distort or support your rhythm. Surroundings full of clutter, noise, and constant distraction overstimulate the nervous system, pushing you into a reactive tempo. Environments filled with calm, order, scent, soft sound restore balance. Curate spaces that reflect your inner elegance. Play soft music while you prepare for your day. Eat without screens. Let your body and mind sink to peaceful settings, and that energy will follow you outward. Daily rituals anchor rhythm into habit. Morning stretches, evening journaling, slow tea instead of rushed coffee. Each small act tells your body, we are safe, we are steady. Rhythm builds through repetition. And over time, these moments accumulate into an unmistakable aura. People feel it when you enter a room. Your energy doesn't collide with theirs. It sets the tone. Developing rhythm also means honoring your cycles, your moods, your energy highs and lows, your seasons of creation and rest. Feminine energy is not linear. It's cyclical. To force yourself to move constantly in a straight line is to live against your nature. Allow yourself to ebb and flow. Work intensely when inspired, retreat when tired. Rhythm is not sameness, it's harmony. You are not meant to be consistent like a machine. You are meant to be attuned like a melody. In relationships, your rhythm teaches others how to approach you. A woman who knows her pace doesn't chase or shrink. She glides. She communicates through calm timing, responding instead of reacting, speaking when words can add value, and maintaining silence when they can't. Her rhythm commands respect because it demonstrates self-trust. Others feel it and naturally adapt to it. When you finally find and protect your personal rhythm, you begin to experience life differently. Stressful situations no longer dictate your mood. The energy of others no longer throws you off balance. Your interactions, movements, and even your thoughts begin to follow a measured, harmonious flow. You realize that rhythm isn't about control, it's about coherence. Refinement of rhythm means living so deliberately that even your pauses have power. Every glance, every breath, every gesture begins to feel like music, composed, serene, feminine. You stop rushing to catch up to the world, and instead, the world begins to adjust to you. And that, truly, is the essence of elegance, not in perfection, but in timing, knowing when to move, when to wait, and when to simply be. Emotional grace under pressure. Grace under pressure is the highest form of emotional maturity. It is the mark of a woman who has learned to dance with chaos without losing her balance. Anyone can be poised when things go right. True refinement appears when things don't. Emotional grace isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending not to care. It's about channeling emotion through self-control, allowing power to flow through peace rather than panic. It's how you hold yourself when you could crumble, how you speak when you could lash out, how you breathe when you could break. Every challenge tests your nervous system first. The body feels before the mind reacts. The heartbeat quickens, the breath shortens, muscles tense. This is the moment where elegance either expands or collapses. The woman of grace recognizes the body's alarm as information, not command. She pauses before reacting, giving her emotions room to breathe. This pause, just a few seconds of awareness, is the difference between reaction and mastery. In that moment, she reminds herself, I am safe. I can choose my energy. Calmness is contagious, but so is chaos. The more grounded your presence, the more stability you bring to others. When voices rise, yours lowers. When tempers flare, your silence cools the air. When uncertainty grows, your stillness becomes direction. Grace under pressure is not withdrawal, it's leadership, the quiet leadership that guides without shouting. People are drawn to your composure because it gives them permission to find their own. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending not to be affected. Grace isn't numbness, it's awareness without collapse. When something hurts, acknowledge it fully. This is painful, but it will pass. Emotional intelligence lies in naming what you feel without becoming it. You can experience anger without acting on it, sadness without drowning in it, fear without freezing. These moments don't weaken your femininity, they refine it. Every time you choose understanding over impulse, you strengthen the emotional muscles that hold elegance upright. Practice meeting tension with breath. Inhale deeply, exhale longer. This simple rhythm slows the heart, clears the mind, and reconnects you with the body. When emotions feel overwhelming, they are simply energy-seeking movement. Breathing moves that energy through you instead of letting it stay trapped as anxiety or rage. Over time, this becomes instinctive. People who watch you under pressure won't understand how you stay so composed. It will look like magic. But it's not magic. It's mastery. The art of emotional grace also involves reframing perspective. Most chaos is temporary, yet it convinces us of permanence. When your emotions flare, Remind yourself, this will not define me. This will pass. Elegance exists in perspective, the ability to zoom out far enough to see that storms are teachers, not enemies. You can learn to navigate conflict the way a ballerina navigates stage lights, with awareness, precision, and beauty, no matter how blinding it seems. In relationships, grace under pressure means responding, not retaliating. It means listening when you want to defend and softening your tone even when you're right. The goal is not to win, but to preserve connection and integrity. When you speak calmly in the face of anger, you set the emotional temperature of the exchange. You can't control another's behavior, but you can always control your vibration. And that control is power. Professional grace functions the same way. Deadlines, criticism, competition, they all test composure. The refined woman knows that her demeanor in crisis becomes her reputation afterward. Instead of panicking, she organizes. Instead of gossiping, she strategizes. Instead of rushing to prove herself, she delivers with precision. Even in failure, she maintains dignity. She can say, "That didn't go as planned," without collapsing into self-blame. People respect those who handle defeat with composure because composure signals resilience. The deepest expression of emotional grace is forgiveness, not of others first, but of yourself. When you lose control, when you cry, when you falter, return to gentleness. The woman of grace doesn't shame herself for imperfection. She apologizes, realigns, and continues forward. Her strength lies not in never falling, but in never losing her softness when she does. In truth, emotional grace is elegance of the soul. It's how you carry light through dark rooms. It's how you remain kind in the face of cruelty, patient in the presence of confusion, and composed amid chaos. The more you practice it, the more untouchable you become, not because life stops testing you, but because you stop breaking under its tests. When grace becomes your default response, storms no longer shake you, they refine you. Your calm becomes a sanctuary for yourself and for everyone lucky enough to stand near you. Elegance in conflict and confrontation. The final test of true refinement isn't how you act when everyone loves you, it's how you hold yourself when tension enters the room. Elegance shines brightest in discomfort, because that's when instinct tries to betray it. It's easy to be graceful when life is kind. It takes mastery to remain composed when provoked. Elegance in conflict isn't about being submissive or passive. It's about commanding emotional and verbal power without losing composure, to defend your boundaries with calm, to speak with authority that still leaves dignity intact. When disagreement arises, energy expands sharply. The unrefined instinct is to match it, voice against voice, tension against tension. But the elegant woman practices energetic asymmetry. When others rise, she lowers. Her calm doesn't mean surrender. It means control. Instead of matching volume, she matches clarity. Instead of escalating, she stabilizes. Her tone becomes slower, quieter, deliberate, and because it contrasts chaos, it instantly commands the room. The first rule of grace in confrontation is presence before response. Never react in the first seconds of anger.
Pause. Breathe.
Feel your heartbeat slow before you speak. This simple act reclaims authority from impulse. The moment you stop needing the last word, you become the most powerful voice in the room. Anger feeds on reaction. Silence starves it. When you do speak, anchor your words in neutral truth. Avoid "you always" or "you never," phrases that stab rather than solve. Instead, describe facts and feelings. "I felt disrespected when," or "I understand your view, but I see it differently." These statements maintain self-respect without creating defense. They express boundaries without venom. The goal isn't victory, it's self-preservation with integrity intact. Body language carries more authority than volume ever could. Stand tall, but don't stiffen. Keep your shoulders open. Tension in posture signals insecurity, not strength. Maintain eye contact, not in challenge, but in steadiness. Let your stillness speak louder than movement. The woman who remains poised while others unravel doesn't lose power, she absorbs it. People sense, consciously or not, that she is unshaken, and that alone disarms hostility. Grace also means knowing when to exit gracefully. Not every battle deserves your participation. Some conflicts exist solely to steal your energy. Elegance is discernment, recognizing when silence is strategy, not surrender. A calm withdrawal can humiliate ego-driven confrontation more effectively than any retort. Walk away with your head high, your expression soft, your energy untouched. That's how queens end arguments. But sometimes walking away isn't possible. Negotiations, relationships, workplaces require dialogue. In those cases, elegance becomes your armor and empathy your sword. Try to understand the root of the other person's behavior without excusing it. Many people react from fear of not being heard, not being valued. Meeting that fear with gentleness turns confrontation into transformation. You don't lose control, you redefine the tone. Humility enhances this power. Admit when you're wrong quickly and cleanly. "You're right, I missed that," spoken calmly, holds more grace than hours of defensiveness. Ego resists humility because it confuses softness with weakness, but elegance knows better. Owning a mistake with poise magnifies respect. It says, "I am confident enough to be accountable." That's real power. After conflict, practice release. Don't replay arguments in your head or rehearse imaginary comebacks. That only chains you to the very energy you worked to rise above. Instead, take a walk, breathe, pray, or write. Emotional detox is part of elegance. You protect your frequency not by avoiding challenge, but by cleansing quickly after it passes. Conflict handled with grace transforms perception. People may not remember what was said, but they remember how you made them feel. If you leave them feeling seen, not shamed, respected, not defeated, you've mastered emotional leadership. You've shown that strength can coexist with serenity. In every confrontation, remember this truth: the one who stays calm controls the current. Elegance doesn't silence others, it refines the energy of the exchange. The woman who refuses to let anger dictate her tone wields the rarest power of all: the ability to remain kind, confident, and unshakably dignified while standing in the fire. And when the embers settle, she is always the one still standing, untouched, composed, and radiant. Thank you for listening to this chapter of Becoming Her. If you haven't subscribed to the Book Club podcast yet, go ahead and do that so you can stay updated on every new release. You can also find this book on Amazon in paperback and Kindle formats if you'd like a physical or digital copy. And if you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who might benefit from it as well. See you in the next chapter.